Glute hamstring raise is a great exercise for hamstrings. Hamstrings are very important on the ice for speed.
In one of my previous videos, you learned that hockey players have notable muscular imbalances between the front side and the back side of the leg. If you missed it, click the card up here to get up to speed. Since weak hamstrings keep you slow and pose a significant injury risk, today we'll do a deep dive into the 11 best hamstring exercises you should add to your off-ice routine. We'll kick things off with a simple but surprisingly effective bodyweight movement: bench leg curls. For this, place your heels on a bench or box while you hang from a pair of gymnastic rings. Keeping your arms straight and hips up, dig your heels in, and using nothing but the strength of your hamstrings, pull your butt toward your ankles. This exercise is best done for moderate reps of 8 to 12. If you want to make it harder, you have a couple of options. Pausing for 1 to 2 seconds at the top really hits the hamstrings, but most people won't be able to do that. Another progression involves using a weight vest. You could wear an extra 10-20 pounds that way. Since your upper body is now heavier, your hamstrings have to work harder to move your torso forward. Number 10, kettlebell swings. While regular swings are fine, I have found that adding in a resistance band makes the movement even more effective for the hamstrings. On the eccentric, the band pulls the kettlebell down, and then on the concentric, the extra band tension really lights up your entire posterior chain. Here we're shooting for 8 to 10 to 12 reps on average. Our next exercise is the stability ball leg curl. Strong athletes can bang out these all day long, so using a 2-second controlled lowering and a 2-second hold at the top makes it more challenging. Even then, you're looking at higher rep ranges than usual. With my pro guys, I program these in the early off season for as many good reps as possible. We're looking at 20, 25, up to 30 reps on the higher end. That's gonna cause some nasty hamstring burns. Once an athlete can do several sets of around 20 reps, I switch them to one leg, which is a whole nother ballgame. That usually brings the number of reps down to 6 to 12. With non-pro clients, their aim-up sets on 2 legs might be just 5 to 8 reps. Lots of variance here depending on your current strength levels. One problem with the stability ball leg curl is you can't really overload it beyond just your body weight. Which brings us to number 8, slider leg curls. These are very similar to what you would do on a stability ball, with the extra benefit of being able to increase resistance by using a band. Simply loop a band around your ankles, which overloads the hamstrings the closer you get to the top position. Typically, I use 6 to 10 reps on these. Same as with the stability ball leg curls. Once an athlete no longer feels challenged with the 2-leg version, even when using a band with lots of tension, I tell them to go single leg. First, body weight only, and then move on to bands. Coming in at number 7, single leg Romanian deadlift. I prefer dumbbells over a barbell here. Since the dumbbells will be by your sides instead of directly in front of you, it's easier to do this exercise correctly. Still, once you get reasonably strong, instability will become the limiting factor. Trying to go heavier leads to a loss of balance. Focusing on keeping your balance will decrease the mind-muscle connection in the hamstrings. To work around this issue, you can use a single dumbbell while your free hand holds on to something sturdy to stay stable. Now, instead of wobbling all over the place, you stay rooted and can work on feeling that nice, deep hamstring stretch when you go down. As for reps, we're looking at 5 to 8, up to 10 to 12. 45-degree back extensions are next on the list. As an overall posterior chain builder, so not just the hamstrings, but also the glutes and lower back, this movement is one of my all-time favorites. The reason it shows up in the middle of the pack here is because other exercises are better for the hams specifically. That said, you have a lot of room with rep ranges here. On the low end, I wouldn't go below 6 to 8. On the high end, sets of 20, 25, even 30 are fine. To overload the movement, use a combination of bands and free weights. But before you start cranking these out like no tomorrow, make sure your technique is on point. So many guys do back extensions with a huge arch in their lower back, which is a great way to not strengthen the muscles you intend to while hurting your back. I don't want you to be one of them, so watch the video linked up here to learn how to do back extensions the right way. Kicking off our top 5, the Nordic Curl. Since doing unassisted reps will be impossible for almost any athlete, Lower yourself in 4 to 5 seconds, controlled, and use your hands to push yourself back up. You can also loop a resistance band around your torso to make the bottom part, the hardest part, of the eccentric more manageable and the concentric phase doable unassisted. Aim for 6 to 10 reps on Nordics. No discussion about strong athletic hamstrings would be complete without mentioning sprints. One look at the tremendous hamstring development of elite sprinters tells all you need to know about what repeated running at 100% effort over many years can do for muscular gains on the backside of your thigh. Not only that, sprinting will have the biggest carryover to hockey out of all the exercises listed here, because that's the closest to what goes on in a skating stride as far as joint angles and speed of movement is concerned. At number 3, glute ham raise. I'm a huge fan of this exercise. 6 to 10, up to 12 reps hits the sweet spot. Same as with the back extensions we covered before, adding in a plate or resistance band allows you to overload the movement beyond bodyweight. Another option is to do AMAP sets with just bodyweight. Stronger athletes will then train in the 15 to 20 range. The only reason glute ham raises aren't any higher up on this list is because you need specific equipment for it, which sadly most gyms don't have. The runner-up, barbell Romanian deadlift. I see a ton of people do this exercise wrong. They feel nothing in their hamstrings and all of it in their spine. That's not the point. To perfect your RDL technique, watch this video up here. Most of the time I program RDLs for 5 to 8, 8 to 10 reps. You can also do higher reps of 12 to 15 now and then. Finally, the winner, lying leg curl. I used to not see the value of this exercise for athletes for a long time. The reason being, we did a lot of these when I was a junior football player, soccer for you Yanks, and never got anything out of them, which was more a reflection of bad training and programming, not the fault of one single exercise. Then a few years ago, I started playing around with lying leg curls again, and to my surprise, I like them. They're easy to perform, easy to overload, and they help you build stronger hamstrings. You might be wondering, why did I pick leg curls over Romanian deadlifts as the winner here? One is an isolation exercise, while the other is a multi-joint barbell lift. So wouldn't that make RDLs the better choice? I would agree with that opinion if we're talking about effective posterior chain builders overall. But when looking strictly at stressing the hamstrings, lying leg curls as an isolation movement get the job done better. In addition, they are more versatile. You can do regular reps on 2 legs, you can do single leg sets, the 2-1 method where you lower with 1 leg and lift with 2. The effective rep range is larger, so that's why leg curls take the cake in my book. Speaking of reps, I would go 4 to 6 on the low end and 15 to 20, maybe even 25 on the rare occasion on the higher end. Those high rep sets are nasty. It will feel like the skin around your hamstrings is going to rip. And that covers it. 11 best hamstring exercises for hockey players. Knowing that your competition is not training their posterior chain effectively, plug these hamstring builders into your routine and start making gains your competition is missing out on. Also, be sure to watch my next video on hockey hamstring injuries. It will show up right here when it's published, and this one about the top 11 exercises to build a thick, wide, muscular back so you actually look like you lift. Thank you for watching. If you want more great training and nutrition tips like this, then smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.